When students all wear the same clothing every day at school, it levels out the playing field. Any expectations on what to wear are removed and children develop a greater sense of equality. Children of all socioeconomic backgrounds begin from the same starting point. Without uniforms, children from poorer backgrounds could feel isolated if their parents are unable to afford the latest styles of clothing. The idea that you should work smarter, not only harder, isn't anything new. When talking about the difference between smart and hard work, it's pretty simple to explain what working hard means. If you want to be successful in the long run, you have to put long hours into work. You have to start early, before all other people, and you have to stay up late, when everyone else is already enjoying their afternoons and evenings. A balanced diet is one that fulfills all of a person's nutritional needs. Humans need a certain amount of calories and nutrients to stay healthy. A balanced diet provides all the nutrients a person requires, without going over the recommended daily calorie intake. By eating a balanced diet, people can get the nutrients and calories they need and avoid eating junk food, or food without nutritional value. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air. Green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide. In modern IT, change management has many different guises. Project managers view change management as the process used to obtain approval for changes to the scope, timeline, or budget of a project. Infrastructure professionals consider change management to be the process for approving, testing, and installing a new piece of equipment, a cloud instance, or a new release of an application. The first edition of the Asian Games was held in New Delhi in March 1951. The aftermath of the Second World War meant Japan were barred from the 1948 Olympics in London. They were not invited to the founding meeting of the Asian Games Federation in 1949, but the country was allowed to compete in the inaugural Asian Games. South Korea did not participate, however, due to the Korean War, which had started the previous year and would last until 1953. A renewable resource is one that can be used repeatedly and does not run out because it is naturally replaced. A renewable resource, essentially, has an endless supply such as solar energy, wind energy, and geothermal pressure. Other resources are considered renewable even though some time or effort must go into their renewal, for example, wood, oxygen, leather, and fish. In order to avoid confusion, scientists discuss thermodynamic values in reference to a system and its surroundings. Everything that is not a part of the system constitutes its surroundings. The system and surroundings are separated by a boundary. For example, if the system is 1 mole of a gas in a container, then the boundary is simply the inner wall of the container itself. Vegetatively propagated crops are globally significant in terms of current agricultural production, as well as for understanding the long-term history of early agriculture and plant domestication. Today, significant field crops include sugarcane, potato, manioc, bananas and plantains, sweet potato, yams and taro. Gravitational forces between molecules are comparatively small relative to intermolecular or interatomic forces. Since phase change is controlled by intermolecular forces, the rate of melting or freezing should be the same under microgravity as it is under normal gravity conditions, provided that thermal and soluble fields are the same.
Astronomy had a major impact on ancient peoples, and it's pretty obvious why whenever you look up at a starry sky. Modern cities and lighting mean that few of us have a view of the dark sky, so most people are not as aware of the night sky now as they used to be. The monuments that ancient peoples left behind stand as proof of their interest in, and knowledge of, astronomy. Motion is the change in the position of an object with respect to its surrounding. Everything in the universe is in motion. Even though an object seems to be not moving, actually it is moving because the Earth is moving around the Sun. You may see objects moving in your surrounding. Cars along the road, trains along the track and aeroplanes in the sky are all moving. Probiotics are living microorganisms that confer health benefits to the host when administered in adequate amounts. However, dead bacteria and their components can also exhibit probiotic properties. Bifidobacterium and strains of lactic acid bacteria are the most widely used bacteria that exhibit probiotic properties and are included in many functional foods and dietary supplements. Alcohol represents a leading cause of liver disease worldwide. Alcohol-associated liver disease, ALD, comprises several forms ranging from relatively mild and reversible steatosis, fatty liver, and alcoholic hepatitis, to fibrosis and finally cirrhosis and hepatic failure. The Lower Paleolithic culture is marked by the human ancestors belonging to the species Homo habilis and Homo erectus. The human ancestors flaked large stone blocks and designed various tools including hand axes. These tools, which are found in Africa, Asia, and Europe, are dated the earliest to about 1.8 million years ago. They made various tools such as hand axes and cleavers to meet their subsistence needs. These tools are also known as bifaces. Most oil and gas companies have a scheduled maintenance plan in place to curb unplanned downtime. This is performed routinely in cycles according to a calendar-based timetable. This maintenance is done during planned maintenance outages, and the non-critical assets are generally run to failure before maintenance. Therefore, critical assets have regular scheduled maintenance and non-critical ones have reactive maintenance. The asset management is a systematic process of not only developing but also operating, upgrading, maintaining, and disposing of the assets in a cost-effective manner, which also includes risks, costs, and the performance attributes. This is mostly used in the financial sector to describe companies and people who manage the investments on behalf of others. There is a lot of hustle and bustle in medical and educational facilities, and maintaining floors can be a real challenge. Floor finish might help you for a particular point of time until it breaks down because of the desks and chairs, but the damage will cost you another coat to finish, which might lead you emptying your pocket. Gapwave's unique waveguide is built up of two parts, a structured metal surface and a flat metal surface being placed in close proximity to one another. The structured surface is characterized by pins forming a metamaterial surface called an artificial magnetic conductor. The pins create a barrier preventing the electromagnetic waves from propagating in undesired directions. Fashion blogs have been around since the early 2000s, but today, blogging is a whole new ballgame. While fashion blogs are at an all-time high, we can't argue against the fact that social media platforms like Instagram remain the single largest forum to redirect traffic towards fashion blogs. But we are not complaining, because that's made our lives twice as easy.